What's up guys, Chris here, and I am finally back to doing weekly chapter reviews for Four Nights of the Apocalypse. For those of you who have been wondering why I have not been uploading over the past couple of weeks, I was on vacation for a good chunk of the second half of August, so I missed about three or so chapters, but now I'm back and I'm getting back into the swing of things, so I got chapter 30 right here with you right now. So before I get into the actual review, I'm going to do like a brief recap of the last three chapters of the base things that have been occurring, and then I'll get into the main meat of this chapter. But before I get into the actual video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. We are almost at 800 subscribers at the time of me recording this video. Who knows, maybe by the time, maybe I'll get like 40 subs within the next day after this video has been uploaded, for all I know. But yeah, we're close to 800 subs if all goes well. And the sub count keeps going up. Maybe by the end of October, early November, we might reach that 1,000 subscriber mark. And it is really close. This channel's been growing a lot quicker than I initially thought it would. So I really need to thank all of you for supporting this channel and watching these videos. And I got a lot of other stuff that I want to try and do in the future. So look forward to that as well. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon, which I set up back when I reached about 500. And I don't expect anyone to like go on to it now, but if you want to help support this my series of videos and help me get more videos out, Patreon will help, as it will also help with the editors that I brought on board to the channel to help bring these videos out a lot quicker and a lot smoother, as well as a Ko-fi account as well to help add some extra incentives so that I could get these videos out a lot quicker and help the editors that are doing an amazing job fixing up my videos. And yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get into this video. So in the last three chapters, where we left off when I was gone, Adeline, one of Howzer's former disciples, and Donnie's basically best friend at the time and fellow trainee before he quit to join the cast circuits troupe, ended up revealing himself to be basically like a boss of a local bandit gang. And after locking up Howzer, who has been completely drunk, Nazians, and Percival, and Anne, who somehow also decided to get drunk, and they are now in prison. We end up learning that Adeline ended up controlling a massive ancient dragon that was making its camp, its nest, over in the mountain range close to Kant. So when Adeline went there, it stole the dragon egg and threatened that dragon to basically smash the egg unless the dragon did as it said. And believe it or not, another original character from the Seven Deadly Sins, who is honestly like a side cast member who's only appeared really like 2-3 times in the Seven Deadly Sins series, and that is Taizai, one of the former champions of the Visal Fighting Festival, and in the Ten Commandments arc, the referee of the new fighting festival that Nazians and Gloxinia and Droll created. So yeah, it was nice to see him, and even though it was 16 years, the guy got old. But then again, some people look older than they usually are. But anyway, after the situation is explained, we know that Adeline's magical power is actually the ability to create lifelike copies of anything he sees or touches. He managed to fool Nazians back in the barn by creating a fake Percival, and he's doing the same thing now with the dragon, using a fake dragon egg. And they ended up discovering the dragon had hatched some time ago, but Adeline has kept it locked up, and it is basically dying and stuff like that. So Nazians is going to try and, well, heal it. Meanwhile, the bandits underneath Adeline's command basically betray him, snatch the egg, accidentally break the fake, and the dragon goes on a freaking rampage, trying to destroy Kant in the process. But then Percival shows up, saves Donnie and Adeline from the dragon, and the chapter ends with Percival using his magical power to absorb the ancient dragon's fire, blasting it back at it, but showing that it didn't really do anything. And that's where this chapter begins. Chapter 30, Raging Storms, and another 2-page color spread, which is really good. And the first page of this chapter is the first real colored page of this series since chapter 1. So this is honestly really nice, and I am so happy to see something like this. Seeing Percival in his full getup fighting this dragon, and we get to see everyone's color palettes once again. And a lot of times, I keep forgetting that Donnie is a redhead. But yeah, moving on. This chapter begins with the dragon unfazed by getting its fire blast redirected back at it. Meanwhile, down below, Taizai and Nazians are trying to treat the dragon. Nazians is actually using his power to create a mist to help heal the dragon, as it is too weak to take any type of medicine itself. Taizai is pleading with Howzer to get out there and help Adlin and the kids, but right now Howzer is literally just staring straight at Sin and is wondering who he is, as Sin just straight up telling him off, telling him how pathetic he is and how much of a disgrace he is as a Holy Knight captain, as a Grand Master, and that he there calls himself Donnie's teacher. And I like Howzer's reaction. He's like, I've seen a talking pig before, but a talking fox, this is just too much, man. And I like he references Hawk now. It would be hilarious if Hawk and Sin meet, and it would just be some weird, meta commentary on talking animals or something like that. And I like how basically Sin is calling out Howzer that he probably isn't really resentful to Donnie for leaving or Adlin betraying him. It's more like that he's more disappointed in himself for failing them as their mentor. He's calling him calling him basically what he's doing is a farce. And then he goes on to explain how Donnie risked his life to steal the Coffin of Eternal Darkness from the Knights of Chaos, as it is 100% confirmed now that they are enemies of Leonis, as Howzer literally straight up says that the Knights of Chaos are Arthur's holy knights. And I like as their conversation is going on, we're seeing Percival trying to fight this dragon, as well as keeping Donnie and Adlin safe. And I like how Sin is straight up just telling off Howzer, stating that Donnie risked his life to save a town from the brink of destruction. And he straight up thought that Percival and everyone were just circus kids. But then Sin drops the bombshell on Howzer, stating that Percival isn't a circus kid, and that he is actually the kid that he tracked down from a secret mission from the King of Leonis himself. And he ain't even half of what he's supposed to be, since he just found his magical power. And I like Donnie's reaction as he's like, secret mission from the king, and that it couldn't be, as Sin says that Percival is one of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. So right off the bat, in this one chapter, we get confirmed that not only does Leonis fully know of what's going on with Arthur, but now we got full-on confirmation that most likely Meliodas, since he's probably the king of Leonis still, it's only been about 16 years, was the one that sent Sin over to help find the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. So that is something very great, and I like how this fully helps with the gravity of the situation. Arthur and Leonis are pretty much at war, and now Sin is confirmed to be one of the close hands of the king of Leonis, who was trusted with the mission to find the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. Now, whether or not Percival was the first one he found is beyond me, since they're heading straight to Leonis. So we'll probably find more out soon enough. But anyway, we end up getting quick clips of the fight between Percival and the Ancient Dragon, as Percival's attacks seem to not be doing anything. The dragon just flicks them out of the air, as now, after all the reactions, they end up falling onto the ground. Howzer gets up and asks Nazians for his name, and tells him to take all the alcohol out of his body using his magic. So yeah, it is more or less confirmed, since Nazians is basically immune to alcohol thanks to his power. He can't actually take out poisons, and since alcohol technically is a poison to the body to an extent, it does kind of apply. So we could actually be seeing Howzer get back up to his full strength in this chapter. So Percival gets everyone to try and run away, as he throws a bunch of mini Percival golems to try and attack the dragon, as it's doing nothing much to Percival's shock. And we then get a fake out death with Percival, as it's shown the dragon piercing through Percival, but it ends up being a fake that Adlin created. So that's honestly pretty smart, as the dragon is wondering where everything is. Percival is just gawking at the dragon, saying how cool it is and how much his grandfather told him about them in fairy tales, and that he's not fighting, and that the dragon isn't even fighting him for real. So that goes to show how strong this dragon is. And I like how, as they're running away, Howzer is slowly walking towards the dragon as the wind starts to pick up. And brief panel right here, as Percival is holding on to Anne. He's holding on to her chest. I have no idea what's going on. I feel like the Nakaba Suzuki misses drawing Meliodas doing all this pervy stuff to Elizabeth. So I think he's just doing this random stuff with Percival. So yeah, I mean, literally like chapter 3, the guy is in a bath with a girl his age, and now another girl his age. He's literally just cupping a feel without even realizing it. That's just freaking hilarious. Oh man. But anyway, back to the epicness of the chapter. Howzer is walking up, basically creating a giant windstorm around him as the kids are running away. Percival and Anna are trying to tell him to get away, as basically it's a very dangerous situation, and a guy like him can't really do anything. But then Donnie, with a smirk on his face, just states he's gonna be fine. They walk past Howzer, and as the dragon launches a massive fire blast, Howzer raises his weapon that he grabbed from the rubble and states his signature move, Rising Tornado, as he then dispels the fire blast, much to the hilarious reactions of Percival and Anne, and then uses his World Shock ability to completely knock the dragon out of commission. As Percival just says, surprised? That is a real holy knight that they're seeing right there, as the chapter ends. And my god, was this great, and I like that Howzer finally got some real love in this chapter. Howzer is someone that really deserves a lot more in the original Seven Deadly Sins, so it's just really nice to see him in this role that he's been given to since the end of the second season, and at the end of the third season. So it just feels nice that Howzer is truly stepping up into the role of the Holy Knight Grand Master, and it shows that his skills have not dulled since now that he's at full strength, he managed to wipe out a dragon instantly. Now, before I get into anything else, a quick tangent I want to get into is that in the original Seven Deadly Sins, we've never really seen a dragon, like a full-fledged dragon. I believe we've seen like a wyvern or maybe a dragon in a flashback from Danafall, but we haven't seen any real dragons in the Seven Deadly Sins. Meanwhile, they're referenced a lot. For instance, there's this thing called a Tyrant Dragon from the Boss Day Prison arc, stating that the shield orb was meant to basically hold off 10 Tyrant Dragons, and it's implied that the dragons are incredibly strong. Meanwhile, the Sins, basically without even trying, basically destroyed everything around them. So, but yeah, we're seeing a full-fledged dragon in this sequel series, and we're showing just how strong it can actually be. But in comparison to Howzer, who is at the rank of Holy Knight Grand Master at this point, it is not that powerful. So I'm liking that Percival, despite being one of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse and taking out, basically, actually he's only taken out one of Arthur's Holy Knights, and didn't really take down Ironside, only managed to barely survive by awakening the potential of his magical power and with the aid of his friends, and Ironside was basically forced to retreat with their plan failed. So I'm liking that Percival is not straight up the strongest character in this series at the moment, and he still has to work his way up, which is how you do have to do these type of legacy shows. So yeah, I am very happy with this chapter. It was honestly really great, and I cannot wait to see more. Now, anything else that could potentially happen is still up in the air. My money is still on Howzer, basically taking all these kids under their wings, and knowing that Percival is one of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, knowing that Donnie has risked his life. He'll most likely forgive Donnie, and Donnie did state that he wanted to go back to doing Holy Knight training in the previous chapter. So I do want to see what's going to happen next. In all honesty, I do believe either if we don't get an arc with them in the mountain range before reaching Leonis, and we just skip straight to Leonis, I won't be too mad. We'll probably spend a good chunk of time in Leonis, building up the strengths of the characters. Percival meeting Tristan, most likely. Another member of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse being added. And we'll probably get more lore and stuff to build onto the story. But yeah, that's honestly everything for this chapter. Now, one thing I hope for when we reach Leonis and we get the backstory of what's going on with the series and why Arthur's doing this, I hope it doesn't spoil the Seven Deadly Sins Cursed by Light movie. Because it's already been out in Japan for a while, and it should be out on like Blu-ray and digital in Japan right now. And Netflix is getting that movie around October 1st, I believe. So that is roughly like 3 weeks away from the point of me uploading this video. So by the time I'm actually on this, that movie is out on Netflix along with the rest of the final season of The 7 Deadly Sins. Then there's no real worry of spoilers for what happened in that time, especially the movie. Primarily if that movie does help set up the 4 Nights of the Apocalypse. So yeah, I'm honestly excited to see what happens next, and I am probably going to end up making a video about the 7 Deadly Sins movie after it comes out, hopefully. So with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. I really do appreciate it. And with all that said and done, hope you all have an awesome day.